Welcome to a DropTent Media production.
Hey, welcome to the Weekday Comics. I'm Dave Permiano.
And I'm Dan DeBriel, and we're here to shoot the shit and talk the news. And we're live.
Hey, fucking A.
Hey, I got it this time. I got the signal.
Hell yeah.
It was a 5. It was one extended palm, and I knew that meant we were about to roll.
This is the first Zoom show where I didn't jump loudly. I didn't jump out of my seat at that opening. Boom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You definitely react like it's a Nolan noise or something. You jump.
That's true. The atomic bomb went off in my headset. Man, we're back in studio.
Well, we are.
I know they don't fucking know the difference yet because the last they saw us was last time in the studio.
Yeah. What they're unaware of is that this weekend we shot our live, not live episode at the Tuned Up Brewery. We were drunk. We accepted shots from audience members.
You got to see my fucking terrible face I make after taking shots.
That was great. We're definitely going to highlight that at some
The
point.
Jewiest I've ever looked. And I already look pretty fucking Jewy.
Yeah, absolutely. You made a ugh, like your face was that noise. Ugh.
I know. I don't normally do shots. The people the night before at least bought me peanut butter flavored ones. I asked for fruit. They didn't give me fruit.
You got tequila. That's technically, it's like a cactus, right?
Hey, should I have taken Mark out? Because we're not introducing him at all.
No, that's
No,
okay.
we'll get
We
to
want
him.
to
Yeah.
make
Yeah,
him.
let's leave him there. Hey,
We
fuck
like
you,
there.
Mark.
They could see him.
Yeah,
you
we
know?
like to
I've-
chat for
I-
a second before,
I've seen enough of these podcasts, these weekday comics podcasts, where they just completely ignore the guest comic for the first 5 minutes of the episode, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna be the
It's
sucker
called
this time, I guess.
establishing fucking dominance. We have to pee all over the fucking set first to let
Exactly.
you know this is our fucking show still, and you'll be let in when we let you in.
Yeah, you
which
might-
is right now.
Yeah, you might be a big-time comic and big-time comedy show producer, Marc Staudenmaier, who is our guest today. But
good to
you
be
can't
here.
tell us what to do. Yeah,
Yeah,
thank
Mark.
you.
I call him the king of Central Pennsylvania. Because
Absolutely.
if you drive past Philly, the second you see that first "It's a Baby, Not a Choice" billboard, till that very last one before Pittsburgh, that's his fucking realm.
Oh my God.
Don't even think about putting on a comedy show in that fucking realm. That's his fucking domain.
You will end up with like animal heads in your bed.
That's true. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm glad to be here. It's rare that I'm the best looking person on a podcast, so
Oh, you son of a bitch!
I don't know. You're looking. You got your fucking COVID hair going on.
I was gonna say, are this many bald comics allowed to be in the same room, quote
Well, that's
unquote
why
room
we've been in
together?
no
Is
rush
that-
to put you on. You bring nothing new to the table that me and Dan don't have already.
Yeah,
You're bald, overweight, white.
middle-aged. Yeah, you're checking all the boxes, Mark. It wouldn't surprise our audience members to know that we are friends with you. We are not just colleagues. We are all friends. So.
Technically, it feels like you guys should be spawned outside of like a fucking TGI Fridays or something going into a Friday night. You guys look like a fucking wrecking crew.
Right, we should be like tipping the waitress 50 cents
Yeah, yeah.
like all night.
Oh,
all
Mark
beers.
walks in with finger guns. He's like, "What's going on, everybody?" Feels good. I like it.
Yeah, we do. We look like Thursday night at the VFW right here. This is good.
Oh man. Which is mostly where we get booked anyway.
Yeah, right. As I was gonna say, that's where we perform mostly. This lineup is at a VFW. How are you, Mark? How you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you for letting me do this from home. It's very nice, you guys.
Gotta put the kids down.
I know it's a nice studio. I do miss the studio. So
Yeah, no, that was advice from Dave to you. You got to put the
Gotta
kids
put
down.
the kids down.
Put them down and come into
Put
the
them down.
studio.
It's not a choice. They're good.
So how
though.
was
They're
the
not
live?
gonna-
How
they're
was
not
the
gonna
live
wake up-
podcast at Tuned Up Brewery?
We'll ask the questions
How
here,
many? I
Mark.
just want to know how
We'll
many
ask
the
I'm not gonna
Weekday
have one of
Comics
these
fans
things.
were
I'm
showing
gonna
up
have
for
one of
this
these
live
situations.
podcast.
This is why we established dominance. I'm gonna have one of these situations where you start coming in and you start asking the hosts all your questions. I know how you do it, Mark. I've
No, he
seen you.
didn't-
We did this before together in tandem on a podcast where we took it over and asked all the questions. We crowded the host out, didn't let him get a word in edgewise. I'm not letting you do that to me on my podcast.
Oh, you talking about when we did Neil's?
No,
Oh.
Mark and I were on a impromptu podcast after a show, following a show. We didn't know we were going to be on it, and we were both like, we've never been invited to do a show here before. We've never been invited to do the podcast. It seems like we're just being invited on as a convenience. And then Mark and I say, and like we decided independently of one another, but then in tandem live to be like the best, most charming guests this podcast had ever had. We were jockeying stuff back and forth. We basically took over. Like the host couldn't ask us anything. We were asking the host questions. We led the whole podcast. It was great.
Yeah, it was
A lot of
fun.
Yeah. I can't tell you which one it is, but it was a good one.
Why? Because the hosts are ineffectual? Is that why you can't say?
Because the host already doesn't like me, and I don't want to get in a situation where
Oh
he really
man,
doesn't
hold on.
like
That
me.
narrows stuff down a
Yeah,
little
so that
bit.
narrows it down.
We got a little comment here from a comic we all, well, I think we all know. I think Mark right know as well. A little Craig Haas in the building. He's up in here.
Oh yeah, he was talking about one of your things being his favorite joke ever. He said something on my
Oh.
Facebook page.
Who's favorite? Mark sells.
Yeah, Mark. I wish I wrote that, but so I'm guessing that joke is just dripping in autism.
That was very nice. No, I'm glad Craig.
Something about shoes at
complimented
the
me.
Holocaust Museum.
No, it wasn't
or
about the
not
shoes at the
shoes, not the
Holocaust
shoes.
Museum. It's a joke I used to do about the cafeteria. It's too much to kind of
cafeteria at
set
the
up here on
Holocaust
this
Museum.
podcast.
That's fine. I don't ask you about it because you've been like last time I saw you told this joke about an argument you had with your wife, and every time I hear it, I have to tell you that you're wrong.
Oh, about the syrup?
Yeah.
Yes. This is my new closer because it's very divisive.
This is the debate we want on the podcast.
Okay. What is the debate? What's going on?
Do
What
you
did
refrigerate syrup or not?
It's
And
not
you do.
needed.
after you open it?
Wrong.
See? And it makes the room go
It's
nuts.
not needed. Yeah, it's not needed to be refrigerated, to my knowledge.
Yeah.
But I think I always liked it. I think Mark might feel it. I always like the cool. Yeah, I just did it
I
for
like
the
it
temperature
cold,
sake, but I knew
yeah.
it didn't need to be
Me too.
refrigerated.
I also
If
like it
Neil
cold.
is doing it, then I know that it's wrong. So I will
Nice.
stop refrigerating it now.
Yes.
I know Neil's up to this.
There you
Nice.
go.
I've won. It just takes fucking 20 minutes to exit the bottle after you refrigerate it.
Yeah.
You keep that shit in the pantry. That's what we do
Like
on the
Dave has a
weekday.
pantry.
Yeah.
Dave has like a creaky shelf that he keeps all his
I just
his
The Wawa
canned
crate
goods
I got
in.
my own
bed.
syrup rack next to my spice rack.
Oh my
Oh, yeah.
god. I would pay money to go to Dave's apartment just to see what's going on there. You have a female roommate, don't you?
Yeah,
That's a,
but
that's,
she doesn't like
Yeah,
being
he
shocks
refers to
me.
her chest as syrup rack every once in a while. And I'm against it. I'm like,
No,
David, stop it.
First of all, I don't.
that.
I've never sexualized her.
I know.
I've been friends with her for 20 years. She's basically a dude to
Yeah,
me,
nice.
Yeah.
and she's not even American.
Oh,
Oh yeah. There you go. So forget about it.
Yeah.
She's known Dave for 20 years too, and basically he's a dude to her too now.
Finally.
Hey,
After
I
20
did it. Yeah. I
finally
convinced
wore her
someone.
down. Yeah. Oh man.
I'm finally living my truth.
Yeah.
Craig disagrees. He says, yes, you refrigerate syrup.
Yes, that's
you
the
are
right
not
thing
Craig,
to do.
you're
You are
right,
not
Craig,
getting
you're
all
right.
the. Yeah, you're not getting the best votes on your side.
Craig, you are right. Mark, you are right. You do refrigerate syrup.
Refrigerated
this is
syrup
good-
has
this
the
is the-
same reaction as vaccines. Craig, I love you.
I miss
Thank
Craig.
you for weighing in, Craig. Stick around and any joke off, say my joke's better. That's how you can prove yourself right here. No, to answer your question, Mark, I will indulge your question. The live episode, the live not live episode we shot this weekend, very fun. A real good time.
Good.
It was about 110 degrees in the room that we were in, so we were our viewers can look forward to watching both Dave and I. The hottest we've ever done this podcast, just dripping sweat.
Did you guys go towel? Did you
No,
go towel?
I should have.
You should have went
I
towel.
should have. But I just got caught up. We did there was like a show prior to the podcast recording
Yeah,
that Dave
that's-
and I co-headlined. So I was kind of like thrown into producing that, and I was kind of running around, and I never got a chance to kind of like get my shit together. So I'm very frazzled and drunk during the podcast. It's great. You'll have a good time
And
watching
Neil, I
it.
feel like you're goading me into saying this. I feel like bringing the towel on stage isn't something I've seen white comedians do very often.
I think. Oh, you're saying Jay Yoder's appropriating culture?
Yeah, that's Jay. He did start out in the ethnic rooms. So,
That's true.
Yeah. That's a callback, Neil, from the episode
Gotcha.
you didn't produce. We had a little
All right, guys.
delightful callback.
All right.
Yeah,
there.
so Mark, we'll talk about him, I guess, since he's here.
All right.
Please.
Yeah, you're the vineyard king too, right? Is that like?
I don't know if that's the truth anymore. I mean,
What, did you lose all the vineyards?
No, I mean, I purposely have cut down to just 2 rooms at this point just because of scheduling. But I think there's a lot of other comedy producers, and they can definitely have that title if they want to be the Vineyard King or Queen.
Come on, king. Be
But yes,
honest.
it's a title. It's a title I'm willing to give up.
Well, very good.
That's fair.
You know,
'Cause you
all
do
the great comics like David Tell and Louis C.K. came out, from producing Vineyard shows. So it's
He came out of the
not a great
vineyards.
trajectory.
Everybody says that. Yeah.
Well, no, because the thing that sucks about like doing those like Central PA shows, like, because you know mostly Philly comics, are there like a lot of them that are like, well, I like you personally, but you would totally eat shit in front of these right-wing crowds?
Eat shit. There's been comics that have eaten shit. I can't. It's hard for me to think of some right now.
Name
But I
names.
feel like both of you guys have done that room and have done well. I mean, it depends on. You're right. The crowd is not like the crowd I would say like Philly comics want to see, because I would say we probably skew older than what they would normally see at Punchline and Helium. So it's
Yeah.
probably kind of throws them for a loop. But also like you should do the road as like quote unquote the road and get like a different thing as well on it. I'm not gonna knock my crowd. I mean, do I agree with
I'm not.
most of the crap that they say? Probably not, but they put dollars in my
I'm
pocket.
not
so what am I
knocking
gonna
them.
say?
I've always said they are easier. They actually go to shows looking to laugh.
They understand what comedy is, the breadth of comedy more. Like,
Yeah.
they understand. Like, I feel like conservatives. It's becoming less so after Trump, but especially before him, I found conservatives were much more broadly able to laugh at things that you might be making fun of them about. Like, the thing of like everyone laughs at 99% of things except for their 1% things you can't make fun of. I've always felt that conservatives up until the past maybe like 5 or 6 years were always better at being like, yeah, that's me, but let's laugh. It's funny. We're all stupid. Whereas I felt liberals and are still to this day like, you can't joke about that.
Right.
But it's like, you laughed at all the other things I joked about. Like,
Yeah.
why this?
They,
Did they, Dan? Did they really laugh at all the other things that you talked about?
Every single thing I said. And if they didn't laugh, it's because, the political climate. They just won't let them.
And then
So-
Barbie had to come and break them officially. No, they have gotten. They've in the past few years they have just become the mirror image. Like the far right and the far left, I think have more in common with each other than everybody in between.
Yeah, I think
they
they have
all
more in
have their
common with
book-
each other than they do with like someone who's like dead center in the middle. Like if you found someone who was the exact middle, I think you would find that the hardcore right wingers and the hardcore left wingers are closer to each other than to that person.
Jared McKelly has a great joke about that. You should, about the
Okay.
bumper stickers on the back of a liberal car and how it's pretty much saying all lives matter. It's a great joke.
Oh, that's funny. Jared was actually on the show that preceded our live, not live,
And the live
podcast
pod, he was
recording.
on the live podcast,
And that's right.
too.
He was. I was going to tease it, but yeah, let's give it up.
Oh, sorry,
He
I
was-
don't. You know, I'm not a tease. I
That's
just like.
okay, you
fucking-
Don't
just
say
like
that
to
Jared
listen.
McKelly was on the live show. Nobody will watch it now.
No way. We get like 18 guests, and
Well,
we
we have a
all
bunch.
let them have 5 minutes of time.
Yeah,
That's
Very
why you were
loose.
smart to hold out.
Yeah, exactly. You would have had to come on double dip. You have a podcast of your own.
I am.
I
About
think.
to
Are
drop
you
a new
still- are you
episode
still
tomorrow,
doing that?
actually.
Really?
Oh, is this season 4, 3?
Season 4. I know it's stupid. I don't know why I do it like that.
Well,
I guess it allows me to give a break, so I don't have to keep doing weekly, like kind of what you guys are doing, and burn out. Not that you guys are going to burn out, but you will.
Oh
And-
yeah.
and so I-
Well,
see.
I hate this motherfucker. I can't.
And
stand
so
it.
I can
Yeah.
not do it weekly or whatever. But yeah, this is a fun season. It's kind of got rushed a little bit. It's nice that people are reaching out to me now to do interviews, but now it's like not the right people who I want to have reach out to me. So
Are you,
Yeah, we get a little bit of that too.
Are you still doing it 100% Zoom?
100% Zoom. Have not done any in-person interviews yet. So interesting.
That's
Good point.
'cause it's no. I thought like I figured that might be like a dying podcast medium, right? The Zoom based.
Yeah.
You got to get people there, get them drunk. That's how you fucking open them up.
It's true. I know, like, if a guest even says they're going to Zoom in, I'm like, fucking this guy. What an asshole. I would never say that to him or
Yeah.
nothing, but I think it.
We already had to wait
Everyone's
half an
got
hour.
jokes.
Now we have to wait 2 minutes for every response to come back at us too.
I know.
I get it. We had to do it because of his kid. I found out today is International Child Free Day. I didn't know that was a holiday, but that's apparently so happy.
Heck yeah.
To all the people in the studio, happy International
Happy
Child
International
Free Day.
Free Day.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Although nobody probably appreciates this day more than our guest, Marc Staudenmaier. I had to Skype in today because he's a family man and he has children to take care of.
I'd much rather be in the studio. I like the vibe. Neil has a great studio. I was there with Jay and Albert, and it was a lot of fun.
You came in for my friend Jay Yoder's podcast. Neil made that clear when we came in.
Yeah,
He made
I
sure to
did,
rub
and
that
I
right into our
regretted
notes.
having to know that Neil lives like in the worst part of Philadelphia, and I was like, oh, I'll never go back there again. What excuses can I make up now?
He
Good
does.
parking though. There's plenty of parking out
Good
front.
parking.
That's
If your
true.
car's still there afterwards.
There and Neil's lovely. There's like an old man on his block that will look at you. He'll just look at you the whole time that you're out front of his house, and doesn't seem that dangerous, but he is looking at you. So.
Oh no, Lou's only gonna fight Jose, who's a couple houses down, with a machete, which happened 2 days ago. So no big deal,
Oh,
guys.
shucks, I didn't make it
cool.
in
That's
today.
what he was doing with that machete. All right.
Wait, so we brought up your podcast, but we didn't actually say what it was.
Oh yeah. What is the title of that?
It's called Get to the Joke, and it's a long-form interview podcast. It's not probably
Yeah.
funny. I mean, there could be funny parts in it, but it's not meant to be funny. It's meant to just kind of like really deep dive in. Both you guys have been on it, which I've been very appreciative and
I know,
happy.
you
And
tried to get me fucking disowned from my family.
was there
Yeah.
fallout from?
No,
I was gonna say.
because I see. That's why I said you need to get me there and get me drunk. Because
I don't.
I kept I mentioned my strained relationship with my brother,
Mm-hmm.
and then I was just like I tried to play it neutral on there just to make it. It could be my fault, it could be his, even though it's fucking his. But I was like, okay, well, family's gonna listen, so I'm gonna try to like not throw. Also I don't want to throw my niece's dad under the bus. So if I want to see them again. And all that shit. Was on a podcast last week, had 2 beers, fucking just spilled everything.
I watched your getting ready for my episode. I watched your episode, Dave.
You
Because
watched
I'm
me
only
s-
going to watch one episode
Yeah.
of a thing. Getting
I
ready
watched
for it,
I
let's
watched
be
Troy
honest.
Moore's before I
Yeah.
did. Yeah.
So I watched yours because I know you, so I could gauge what was going on. And I thought you were pretty vulnerable in that one. And you said in the Sydney episode that when you did his podcast, you were uncomfortably vulnerable. But you were vulnerable to Mark. Mark has a good way of getting people to open up. I
Well,
feel
Sydney,
like you
because
did.
Sydney has specific questions, like preset that like really make you think outside. Like he asked me questions about like all shit that I should have offhand.
Oh, got it.
But yeah,
Well,
but I didn't want to tell. Yeah,
I wasn't making this a competition
Yeah.
between Sydney and Mark's podcast. I was saying that, like, you
I've seen Sydney's
open up a
podcast.
lot.
It's a good podcast. It's not something that like I would be good at doing the same
wouldn't
style
pop
he
a
does, him and his
chakra?
wife. But
Yeah.
no, I mean the podcast, it's I'm trying to root out. It's more than just like the vulnerabilities. I try to root out styles, what works for these comics. I both appreciate your guys' humor,
yeah.
and
I just wanted
it
to
was
talk
good.
about my fucking jokes.
we did.
I like that you operate your podcast from the premise of like you're a comedian, so you must be fucked up, and it must be your childhood. Let's talk about it. Like
And
that's
it
a
is
good
about
premise.
90% of the time. That's the case.
Yeah. It was good. It was good. I got to really dig up all that shit I repressed about my parents' divorce with you.
Oh.
Right in front of actually, funny enough, true story, I forgot that I had our podcast the night that we had it. And it was Zoom, so I knew I could do it wherever. So I did it over at my girlfriend's house. We had just started dating. She wasn't my girlfriend yet. We had been, maybe it was our equivalent of our 5th date. And I was over there and I was like, how bad could this be? I'm just doing a podcast. He's going to ask me about my jokes. And then for an hour,
And that's
he's
when
like,
she saw
"Do
you
think-"
cry for the
Yeah, Mark's
first
like,
time.
do you think like your dad and mom's divorce is like really what got you into comedy? Do you feel like you needed attention as an only child? And I closed the laptop at the end, and my girlfriend Arden was like, wow, I feel like we just like speed dated all of your trauma. So it actually worked out for me. So thank you.
Wait, how old were you when your parents split?
I was, oh God, are we doing this again?
Well, I just want to know the number. Just
I
the
don't
number.
wanna talk
I'm not
about
going to deep dive.
No, it's okay. I was about 11, 10, 11.
Oh, I guess okay. So that probably mattered. Then.
It did. It fucked
Okay.
me up. Yeah, it wasn't. I mean, it was okay. No, it wasn't. It's
If I recall, your dad was pretty nasty to your mom after the divorce.
He was. Yes, he was. It was that kind of like 1980s, like every divorce has to be like Vietnam, like
Golden
it can't
age.
Just be, it can't just be like two people that it didn't work out. Oh well, it has to be like this means war. It was fucking bad. It was bad, and I was an only child, so I had to go. I was like the fucking guy being walked. You know, those movies where like they walk the Russian spy across the bridge.
Oh, yeah.
They get him halfway, and they kind of like
Like
push
Man
him the
on
rest of the
Fire.
way.
Wait, so neither of them wanted you?
No, they both wanted me, but at a certain point, like it was blurred between like not from my mom. My mom cared about me. We said this on the podcast, and my mom's watching. I love you. This wasn't your fault. My dad, being a very conservative kind of guy, sometimes I think the line in his eyes between me as his son and me and like as an asset in like the divorce was getting blurred, and so I think sometimes he was like for instance, the example I think I used on your podcast is like my dad would have weekends that were mine, but he would be called into work at this like data center in Maryland. So he'd literally just take me because it was his weekend, drive me to the data center and have me just sit and sleep in this office building for 2 days. And then he would get mad when I would be like, I don't want to go with you on the weekends anymore. And it would be like, why would he get mad? He should know that was my fucking hell. I did nothing for 3 days and I was 12 years old. Why would I want to do that again? But like it was more important for him that his son was with him on his weekend than any, like, would my son be happy sitting in an office for 3 days? No. You know, so it was like a lot of times that would happen. My mom was very nice. She wasn't really part of that, but it doesn't matter when you're getting like sent back and forth and you're a little kid, you know.
Well, the real question of who won was which one got to pawn you off on the other during International Child Free Day.
There we got a comment from Arden, which we know. I tried to save the childhood trauma dump until the 10th day.
Oh,
There you
man.
go. There you go. I'm still picking up her childhood trauma, but I just dumped it on her. I said, "Take me or leave me, baby."
Now, Mark, you must come from a fully functional. Do you come from a fully functional family? Your parents still together, divorced? Let's go.
I guess compared to the both of you, then yes, I would come from a fully functional family.
Do you siblings too? Like I feel like you probably have one or two, a brother that you're really close to.
I have a younger sister,
Oh,
and she
wow.
is a exotics veterinarian up in Boston, Massachusetts.
That is
Oh,
the worst word to follow exotic.
Yeah,
fucking
right.
ever. I was like, dude, we're gonna go fucking see Mark's stripper sister
yeah.
without him knowing.
What a turn! You paused for dramatic effect because you knew.
But you get along with her pretty well, I'm guessing.
We get along, yes, absolutely.
I figured as much just because I remember our episode and you couldn't wrap your head around the fact that I just didn't care about having a relationship with my brother.
It wasn't like I couldn't. So I'm trying to think back to your episode. I think with you and your brother, it was just if I can try to remember from 40 episodes of doing this.
Yeah.
I think
The standout
Dig
episode.
deep. Yeah.
I think I remember it had something to do with your father's death and just your brother.
Well, yeah.
Like he wasn't pulling it like you were doing pretty
Wait,
much.
I
the
actually
entire
said that on the podcast.
caregiving.
Yeah, you
I
were
fucking-
vulnerable.
I kept that one. I thought I kept that one under wraps. Yeah.
No, you said that like you had done like the entire caregiving during your father's like I think battle with cancer, and your brother was pretty much like not involved, and that led to a strained relationship. Correct? Am I wrong?
It was a big part that, but I don't want to because there was one interaction afterward that really fucking was just like I'm done with him. But I don't need to get into that whole.
That-
thing.
Yes,
think
it was
is a
it
good
was the
reason to
Mother's
watch.
Day thing, wasn't it? Your mom wanted to get together on Mother's Day, and you guys couldn't get together. Like you guys
Oh yeah,
couldn't
that
just
day
do
did
it.
suck. But no, it was like one specific. Well, we don't need the deep dive now.
Oh wow, look at Dave pulling back.
Well, no,
Really
because
trying
I
to
was just
fucking-
like,
sweat.
I said I want to.
Wait, did your brother tell you that you were Jewish, and that's what did it?
It's true, yeah. No, it's just I want to see the because I still love my nieces, until they get personalities, and if they end up like him, then that's well, we tried, but like, yeah.
Well, you can see this in-depth dive on Mark's podcast.
Yeah.
Get to the joke.
Okay, I
right.
think I'm
And
okay.
unlike
That's
Troy
a
Moore,
good
your
sign.
both your episodes are still up. So
Hell yeah!
Wait,
Why
have you had
did
to pull
Troy-
any?
Did he
Troy Moore won his pull. He was like applying for some teacher position. He's like, "Can you pull this?" Because people are watching it. I'm like,
I can't.
what do
have
you
the
have to be
kids
ashamed about,
knowing-
dude?
Yeah, he didn't come
Yeah.
off. He talked about all his brother's substance abuse issues. I remember, but nothing that he really did to incriminate himself.
I mean, I think he talked about being an alcoholic or something like that, or
Yeah, but
whatever on
Could
there.
hurt
When you talk to Troy, you expect him to talk about some hate crime from the past. I don't remember any of that. I love Troy.
Who-
If he lived closer, we'd probably get him on. But we're not doing
I
the
don't-
Zoom shit anymore.
No. You gotta be able to book us on something for us to Zoom you.
Burying the lead. Burying the lead.
I mean, I'm offended that it took you 30 episodes to get me on here. I mean, I think you've exhausted the list of just D-level
this is
comics
what, yeah.
to get to
And
me.
then you went to Dan because I made the rule episode 2. If you ask to be on, you're back at the end of the list.
Well, first of all, I was like, look at the caliber of comics you're getting on here. I was like, I feel like I'm not the greatest comic, but Jesus Christ, look at these people you're getting on. These are
Shots
just
across
nobodies.
the
yeah,
bow is
I
what
don't
it
want you to
was.
name names. Yeah, first of all, it's good to go alternate between some newer comics and then some like established. It's like
Correct.
a good.
We want a little,
yeah,
we want
Dan,
like a
Dan
little-
told me you were booking based on how many subscribers that guest could get you.
yes. Sometimes
Yeah,
we book
sometimes.
for that.
Hey guys,
purpose.
hey guys, don't let this fucking asshole fucking tell us what the fuck we need to do.
See?
Mark, go do your bullshit.
See,
Yeah, where was all the?
yeah. See, Mark.
Well, how did you book for your fucking show? Because you were interested in them as people. Or you're like,
Yeah.
oh, this person has a following.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, I booked
fucking
based on interest. Yeah, no. Yeah, it's totally how I book.
Oh yeah, right. So it's only just a coincidence that you happen to book comics like that in the past 3 years have released albums and have fan bases like Jake Matera. And I know because we had Jake
Oh, I love
Matera
Jake.
on our podcast 3 weeks ago. Okay, because he's got a huge following and he's funny.
I don't understand this complaining about getting on a show. Like, first of all, our viewership is going up somehow.
We have a
Yes.
modest to growing huge fan base.
Yeah, the YouTube
Congratulations.
numbers are a little shaky, but the audio listens have been exponentially increasing.
Mm-hmm.
So the longer you wait, the more people are going to hear it.
My girlfriend's watching right now. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't get any better than
Does,
that.
now, wait,
Craig
question for
Haas.
Arden. Does she watch every week or is it because I was on?
Don't flatter yourself.
Have you guys
buddy.
met?
Yes, they have met. She
Oh, you
like-
remember when some people meet her.
she- I did legitimately forget at our not live show that Dave had met Arden before. But yeah, no, they've met before. I introduced her to Mark early because I'm not threatened by him, and so
That's why I had to wait 20 episodes.
no. So I don't know how she feels about it. She catches a lot of them, most of them. I'd say 2/3. She gives me honest feedback too. Like I'll talk to her after the thing, and she'll be like, "That wasn't one of your better episodes." So I'm expecting that conversation.
Some
tonight,
honest
to be
feedback.
honest.
Dan, we should break up.
Yeah, no. I only have my mom that does that for me. That's a little pathetic. Yeah.
That's all right. My
She's
mom
just
gives
like,
me
you're going to
feedback.
have a guest on the next episode, Snoreface.
My mom only remembers like vague details about what the person looked like, and she'll be like, I didn't like that white guy with the beard." And we'll be like, "Okay, Mom."
We're talking about, is Mark the white guy with the beard? Or
We're
are you the
all
white
the
guy
way-
with the
it's me,
Oh, I
it's
get it
me,
now. My bad.
it's
I
me.
was a little slow on
It's
that
also
uptake.
Mark, but it's me.
Dan actually has the better beard. I like Dan. Your beard looks
you.
good, man.
Thank you. You too. You have a really nice beard. It came in really well, I think. Very well done.
I know. Are you going through second COVID? What's going on with? Are you just?
First of all, I can't believe Neil came in and was like yelling at. Neil is so. This and the Jay show. Neil has come off very hostile towards me, and I don't appreciate it.
Mark,
Neil, I want an
I'm just
apology.
sticking up for my boys.
yeah,
I'm
he's
just
okay.
sticking. I will,
He's-
Mark.
Hey, I
I
was
would
sticking up too.
never
They're putting dogs in my
apologize.
pocket too, Neil. Don't
Mark-
don't worry. I don't blame you.
Well, yeah, no, I was sticking up for him. I'm doing a character, but yeah, Mark. No, I
I'm
think
doing
you're,
a character.
Neil
I
is,
am.
Neil
He's
is
someone
often
gotta fight for them.
accosted. Neil is often accosted here. He's usually like a very high tension.
I'm
He's ready
temperamental.
to roll at any minute. He never knows we're going to blame him.
Yeah.
Neil's like the
Yeah.
Wilson of this podcast. You just don't ever see him, but you just hear him from across the bow. Fucking
Good.
Neil.
That means he's the first one to die too. Oh wait, one of the kids, right?
Yeah.
Didn't is one of them dead now?
Wait,
I don't
what?
think
One of
any
the
of the kids are
home
dead.
One of the home improvement kids died. Like
Jonathan Taylor
this year.
Thomas?
No, I doubt any of those kids are dead.
I think
I
Zach-
100% guarantee those
I'm
kids aren't
pretty
dead.
sure Zach.
I mean, their careers are dead, but
Yeah,
they're not
that's-
dead.
All of the kids
Yeah,
from
Jonathan
Step
Taylor-
by Step are dead. I don't know. I just made
No, the
that
one
up.
murdered a woman, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Jesus.
One of the, I think, either the oldest or the youngest home improvement kid died.
I don't know.
Jesus
I'm
Christ,
not
this
sure.
podcast took a tangent, didn't it?
I don't know.
What? Who
He-
cares? Lots of people died
Yeah.
this
Oh,
week.
we don't. This is, and also the
Yeah.
tangents are the name of the game. In fact, we.
I
have
know.
to
Did you
go
guys
on
see the guy
tangents
from
with you.
Euphoria died? That was
Yeah,
crazy.
that
I
was
I
never
liked
even
him.
heard of him. Did you watch Euphoria?
He was a young towhead.
Oh, I love Euphoria. I love Euphoria. I do.
My girlfriend got me into it. It was pretty good. I saw
I've
the
never
second
seen-
season, but not the first.
I'm definitely
The
not
second was weird.
their target demographic, but like I'm a big fan.
No, I'm saying if one of the Home Improvement kids is dead, that's not the biggest piece of our childhood that died
That's
recently.
true.
So here,
The
let me just,
Euphoria guy is.
I'm just gonna pull this up
Yeah,
real quick.
pull
But
this
yes,
up.
it looks like Jonathan Larson. Yeah, they were
Okay.
mourning the loss of Jonathan Larson.
Which one is he?
Who the hell is
Uh,
Jonathan
here.
Larson?
Is that
Give me
Zach or
2
Sparky?
seconds.
Was that the
There we
youngest kid's
go.
name? No, Mark.
Sparky.
There was
Sparky.
Zach, Mark, and
Oh, why
I
is that
don't
not
remember.
coming
I
up?
remember Zach.
There's no way any of those kids are dead.
Wow.
What do you mean? There's no way
That's
any of
John-
those kids
that's
are
Are
dead.
they a
JTT.
human?
This is Jonathan
Jungle
Taylor
to
Thomas.
Jungle. I've
This
never-
is Jonathan Larson. Mourns
Yeah.
the loss of Jonathan Larson.
wait, that was
Yo,
the youngest
that's-
kid.
It was this kid. It's this
Yeah,
kid.
well,
yes,
what do you
the
mean they
youngest.
can't be dead? They're
Yeah. It was
child
the young
actors.
one.
They're human beings. They're not fucking immortal.
No, but I recall this. Wait a
Child
minute.
actors are
Who
on
the
this
hell
earth
is
to
Jonathan
die.
Larson?
I
Because
think he was the baby, the young kid.
no, that's. I'm looking up right now. I'm
No, the
feeding
oldest
Neil
one
his
was
own
arrested
stupid
for
Oh wait, wait. Okay,
research.
hold on. Wait a second.
Oh, wait.
Aaron Smith
Research.
is the
It
youngest
was
one.
2 seconds. I was trying to pull up some bullshit. Fucking Dave said.
Oh no, wait. I think
Mark.
Either Mark died or Zach was a rapist. One of those two
It's
is
got to be one of the
one of
other.
those two
It's got to be one of the
is
other.
what I read about. One of the Home Improvement kids was in the news recently.
I'll do a deep dive and figure out exactly.
Yeah,
what's
Neil, why
going
don't you
on.
kind
Oh, I
of
know
do your job and figure out which one of these are dead?
Yeah, Mark.
we
Sorry. I have a running tally of how many dead actor kids there are, and he wasn't up. I apologize.
Who doesn't?
Yeah, I didn't have
As
him
you
on
do.
my bingo card or whatever. I mean, statistically speaking, one of the 3 Home Improvement kids should be dead.
I don't know what the statistics would back that
They're
up,
all
but-
child actors.
Okay, yeah. Well, they do
They
die
all
quickly. but
are. Yeah, I mean, it would. You'd think it was Jonathan Taylor Thomas because
You would think because you.
I mean, the Brady Bunch is batting 100% still alive at this point, and
No,
they were like the most
no.
famous child actors.
They're so old. Are they?
I
well,
know,
They haven't.
but all things
Time hasn't
considering,
claimed some of them yet.
one of them died.
I don't think so. They all got back together. They all like reunited not that long ago.
Well, the parents are dead.
Well, yes, the parents. Well, yeah, we know the father's dead.
And that
from-
maid's got to be dead.
Which one?
The maid.
The maid.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Alice. I thought you said the AIDS got him. I was like, yep,
Yeah,
that's what happened.
AIDS. Listen, man, it ravaged a lot of great musicians of their era, and the Brady Bunch was no different.
But yeah, it should be Jonathan Taylor. Like, how do you just go from Simba to nothing?
Right.
I know that
Simba
is crazy.
shoulda
He was
launched
like,
him
he was
into
like
the
the
fucking
biggest
stratosphere.
star back like in the mid '90s. Just kind of fell off the face of the earth.
Yeah.
Bet you Michael Jackson got to him. That's probably what happened.
Maybe.
All those child actors. Michael Jackson had to handle all their
Culkins-
careers.
yeah, but
as
last
they
year-
all
Culkins
yeah,
are
back
doing
then.
okay.
Well, not the one that he was linked to.
That's well, no. He's
The other
doing
two,
okay.
the other 2 Culkins are having their moment. But
That's
Culkin-
true.
yeah.
The other Culkins
Cully was on
are
American
blowing
Horror
up right
Story.
now.
He had
I
a-
know he plays like a great Charles Manson type.
Yeah, he does. He plays-
And then the other one has Succession.
Yep,
Yeah,
which is he's like now the successful Culkin.
I know.
He's great.
And none of them. Yeah, there must be a 4th Culkin that's dead then. It was probably like the real talented
It's the
one.
one
they
Michael
would
Jackson
say,
really
yeah.
got to.
Yeah.
I like
It's the,
how
Archie
Dave just
Manning.
wishes for child actors just to.
100%.
I mean, make it make sense.
It's International Child Free Day. If you can't celebrate that today, when can you celebrate it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you someone who didn't want to be child free, Michael Jackson. He wanted kids all over the place. Speaking of which, and I don't know. I'll button this up because I just want to do it. The kid with the Home Improvement kid, he did have a sad death, but he had a nice eulogy. It went something like, okay.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, Dave, I don't know who you might have thought died, but I've got something from 2021 that just gives all the actors that had died up to that point, and there was nothing about it. It was a lot of the older actors that were there. But
Why, if they wrote an article in 2021, they're all alive,
Yeah.
and then just ignored them
Checking
dying in
in.
2023.
right.
That author's dead
But you
too.
said that happened recently. apparently.
Maybe
You fucking just
maybe
want
they're-
kids to die, I think.
I think one of them's a rapist though.
Ah, gotcha. Okay.
Mark, this might be a little inside baseball, but did you were you at that open mic where that child star, that lunatic lady child star, tried to storm the stage? And
No,
I
wait,
don't
but
think
this
he-
sounds familiar. Tell me
Okay.
again. Was this at Cisco's mic?
This was at the Exton Hotel open mic. We were doing an open mic in a lobby or in like a lounge of a hotel, And this woman came up, this old woman with like a doll, like a lamb chop doll. She started screaming at whoever was on stage.
Whoa! You forgot her. No. You got her entrance all. She had a walker.
That's true.
She had a basket in a walker. She had a neck brace on. She didn't.
about that.
Yeah, she didn't scream. She walked directly up to the stage and stood in front of the comic, and then took out her lamb chop puppet. And then some guy like escorted her out, and then he told us afterwards that she was a child actor on the show 8 is Enough.
And that's actually a better detail that he didn't tell us. He yelled it to us as we were laughing at the whole situation. He said, "Stop! She's a child star." And then we're all like, "What?" Now we really need to know.
So we can all agree.
Oh, shit, is Todd Bridges here?
It was a show called 8 is Enough. She was the child on some kind of show.
I've heard of that
Is
show,
Enough.
but I couldn't tell you anything about it.
But that just drives home the point that these child actors are better off dying young.
Yeah.
Are
she
any of
was
these? Are any of
having
these I
a
mean, I
hard
know you
time.
probably might not know. I don't know if you dove in and saw which kid or whatever she might be. But
She was the really young one, but I didn't really look.
Oh, the one in the very center there, look like?
Maybe she had red hair, at least as a 80-year-old woman.
Did she do time? Did she do time on the mic?
No. She
no,
yelled
yeah.
at a comic. I think it was the very funny Ryan Kay, I think, was on stage, and she yelled at him for a little bit, like from directly in front of the stage, and then she was escorted out.
Wait, question. Was she like, was she young because she wanted to perform, or would she just like happen to be in the audience
I
and
think
just like took offense to something that was said?
No, she didn't ever stop and take it. She went like right from the entrance. She walked right into the building, didn't break her gait, and would just, and like halfway through, all eyes were on her anyway.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is going
Because
on?
it's like maybe 4 minutes into this comic set, so we've all been sitting there watching him, and she just walks right up to the stage. And the way that the room is laid out, there's a hallway right in the middle of the audience to get to the stage, so everyone sees this old lady in a walker like walking up. Yeah. God, what a weird fucking night. That's the only time I've ever met a child star.
So, which do you think is better, Mark, as our guest? Dying young or living to become that?
Oh man, I don't know, man. I mean, the dying young thing definitely has taken some of the biggest legends. You know, was it the 28 Club with Hendrix and Janis Joplin?
27.
27.
Okay, well, 27. That's I
We've
guess
all missed that boat, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Is there an older death club that we can join?
Yeah, how old was Pee Wee Herman? 70? The 70 Club.
60.
Paul
It's
Rubens
59.
called
Or
off.
yeah, he was. I mention him later.
Yeah, okay, good. Me too. That's why I don't want to dig in too deep. But like, I do need to say, like, he got more railroaded than almost anybody else in the world. Pee Wee did, because he didn't do anything that was all that bad. He jerk off in an adult movie theater, exactly where you would expect it to happen. No, it was a regular movie
I mean,
theater.
this
that
was the
happened?
90s,
Okay,
yeah.
that's not so
No,
good.
no. I was saying it was
you're
an adult
agreeing
movie
with me.
theater, and I'm
Yeah,
agreeing
it's
with
an
you.
adult movie theater. Look, would I do that? No. Would I be shocked to know that people are doing that? No, either.
Well,
It's an adult movie theater.
To
And his
support
whole
that
career
argument, Fred Willard did the same thing, and people were like, "He's the best dude of all time."
We love
Fred
him.
Willard did that later in life when everybody had access to internet pornography.
I
Yeah, I
think
feel like
that's
he
part of
died
this in
like
the
2 years
90s.
later.
Yeah.
I think that's part of it. I think Fred Willard did it at the time where we are all like, okay, who big deal? Who
Yeah,
gives
but
a
I'm
shit?
saying Pee Wee did it at a time when pornography wasn't so easily accessible.
Oh, right. What else are you gonna do?
So yeah, he went out. Like by the time it took a picture to load, you could go out, jerk off at a theater, and come home, and then the fucking final pixel
You
would be
tested
cropping
this.
on. Yeah,
Yeah.
I set time trials. Install the 56K modem or whatever.
You could hear it screaming from down the block. That's
The
funny.
idea of Pee Wee just being like, Fred, come on, man, too late. What are you
Yeah,
doing?
Yeah.
Too
like,
late, man. No
it's
one's
not
jerking off
edgy.
in movie theaters anymore.
It's not
They-
edgy when he did it, but you know.
But yeah, they ripped his show off the air right after
Yep,
that.
and then his whole career fucking went down the shitter. He had
But-
kind of a late resurgence.
Yeah,
but
didn't
not
he was in
really.
Blow, and that kind of put him back
Yeah.
on the map, right?
Yep. Yeah.
yes. Wait, I keep seeing clips pop up. Was the Buffy the Vampire Slayer thing? Was that pre or after?
Never thought.
I think that was
I-
pre. I think that was just before it happened. He was in Buffy.
Okay. Because I don't remember. I've seen the movie. Yeah, he has like a really
Someone
funny
definitely
death
did
scene.
him a favor. They're like, "Who should we have to be in Buffy the Vampire Slayer? How about Paul Rubens? That makes
Paul Rubens,
perfect
why not?
casting type."
Why not?
The movie, not the TV show.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
really?
he
Yeah,
because
he's
I
in the
didn't know
movie.
he was in it, and then they've been showing like his death scene on there because it's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
He just like refuses to die quickly.
Yeah, he's good in it.
And you
That's
got his fucking 30 Rock
underrated movie.
His 30 Rock cameo.
I never saw that one.
Okay, that was
I'll have to check
epic.
that
Yeah,
out.
he plays crippled.
I didn't realize how consistently working. Actually, he's kind of got everything. Like, sorry, let me pull this up so you guys can see. But it's pretty. I didn't realize there was just American Dad, Piccolo, a lot of animated stuff in which he's doing things on. But I didn't realize how consistent he was.
He's doing like bit parts and stuff. It's sad.
Yeah, it's bit
Yeah.
part
Just like-
stuff.
Yeah.
Totally.
He's working.
Yeah.
He
Getting
got
stuff
another
done.
he got another Pee Wee movie on Netflix later on.
Yeah.
But
So Blow was 2001. I don't know if that helped you for where you were trying to.
That was his probably last big role. It was 22 years ago.
Yeah.
But, hey. He was 70 also. Like, were we really looking for old Pee Wee? Did we need old
Yeah.
Pee Wee? Maybe he
as
was
I
aged
said,
out.
I mean he was a big part.
I would have taken old.
Him and Mr. Rogers both got, but as I said about celebrity deaths, I don't know them. Like, so if they don't have anything artistically left to offer me,
Right.
I don't care.
The great Jake Matera with a little comment.
Hey, Jake.
R.I.P. Pee Wee.
Thank you, Jake. Jake Matera, the very funny,
Yes.
many followers. Jake Matera, by the way. Jake, I hope you were watching.
A
what we
soft
were
one. His
singing.
album is
yeah.
out. Get
Yeah.
a soft
Jay, I
one.
hope
Yes, a
Jake,
soft one. Check it out, Jake Matera.
I hope you're at a bar watching because
Thank you for plugging Jake's special.
You're
online
very welcome.
We
episode.
love-
Mark, you did
He
a
doesn't
special
need any
too.
more help with that stupid special. You can
You
plug
did
my
a,
special.
Mark did
How's
a
that?
special too.
Infant. Yes. Check it
Let's
out.
talk-
Oh,
YouTube.
you did a special?
You
Mark?
cut it up. You did it like the Chris Rock thing, where you cut it up into a bunch of different specials. I was
But I
there
never
for-
released that.
Mark
Yeah.
very
Okay.
smartly, when
Oh.
he recorded his special, he had some very great comics open for
That's
him.
true.
Really heat that fucking room up, and boy, they did it.
Oh, I
they
didn't-
did the job.
The part I was at wasn't in a room. It was in somebody. It was like right after COVID,
Yeah.
and me and James McElhiney opened for you, and you did 45 minutes at a place that clearly was like over. Like it was like a birthday party,
Yeah.
and the audience is just like, okay. We've been polite enough about this. Like, we want to go back to fucking partying. that was like my first like extended time after COVID though. So I left a lot of punchlines just
flailing. Yeah.
off because like, oh right, and then like, wait, remember I talked about this 5 minutes ago? Here's the punchline. So you never did anything with that? You didn't like put it on YouTube or anything?
I did not. McElhaney still has it. He actually sent to me. I don't even know where it is, but it's yeah. No, I was to Dave's point, I think, vis-a-vis his last statement about it, I think that's part of the reason why I never
Yeah, but you
released
did it. I thought you filmed it at like multiple locations.
Correct.
Because at the beginning of your set you were hitting, but like people were just like, this is a fucking party. Why is this guy doing a fucking hour?
Wait a
Remember
second.
that set where everybody wanted to leave by the end? Why didn't you ever release that, Mark? Why didn't you ever put
It
that
started.
out? Where
It
you
wasn't.
walked
It
an
had
entire
nothing.
room full
It
of
had
people?
nothing to do with his comedy per se. It had to do with the
It
set.
had something to do with it.
So, Mark, it's not available for people to find or purchase?
No, I would never charge people for that. You can watch an abbreviated version of it on YouTube. It's under the same Get to the Joke channel. It's called Infant. If you subscribe to my channel or not, please subscribe. But you can also get it on there as well.
Stod comedy on
It's like
IG.
23 minutes.
Cool. That's a good.
How
That is a
much-
good length for a comedy video.
Now,
Comedy
was
video.
that split up? Was it all 23 minutes in one location, or did you?
Mhm.
chop
Yeah,
it up?
Depreel hosted, and Dolan was on there, and
Oh,
Buddy.
Nice. What
Were you
the
making
fuck?
eye
I was like, I'm not
hand
gonna book
gestures?
Jesus
Sorry,
Christ.
Neil is
Just
doing
look at
hand
the
Dan,
gestures
gestures.
again.
Dan, can you pull the mic a little closer to
Oh,
your
sorry.
face?
Yeah.
Why did you
I'm sitting
point at
back
your
to the-
eyes?
It was
Because
he
I
knows
wanted
how
him
look
to
at
get
me.
my
He wanted to look at
attention.
me.
Neil was just
I got
pointing
that
at-
part.
Guys, you are the worst
that part.
at this. I'm
They
literally,
are.
you're so bad.
They
Mark,
are.
How
if
is that?
you're-
Move the microphone closer
Dave,
to your face.
I don't need your assistance. I was trying to get his attention. You just need to keep running. You don't need to fucking stop and say shit. Just fucking be quiet and do the podcast.
Mark has gotten you
Oh,
all
man.
vinegary. Mark,
Neil.
your chaotic
Neil.
presence
No,
has
yeah.
spread.
I'm 100% on Neil's side because Neil can't. Neil
I got
can't
Craig
draw-
Haas doing 18 different comments right now. Craig, chill the fuck out, dude. You can't put all your thoughts on the comments. Fucking hell.
Neil.
Sorry,
Neil
Yeah, we
can't
missed
drive
you.
this train
but please,
himself.
please continue listening, despite our
love
producer
you, Craig.
yelling at you.
I
Yeah,
love you, Craig. You know I love you.
DropTent Media, ladies and
that's what I
gentlemen.
really liked about the
Wow,
live
this
show.
is-
No producer to yell at the audience.
Wait, so you didn't even have Neil at your live show? Neil's like
No,
the third guy.
He
We
has
told
shit
him-
to
we
do.
told
He
him
books
if
all
he
over the
wanted-
place.
I was busy.
We offered him time. He was too big. Too big for him.
I had to show him.
And
No,
yeah,
he had a bigger show, and that makes sense. Our show was like a billion degrees. What did you do this week? What was your show? Did you
Yeah,
have a
so
good-
we had 2 shows on Friday. Myers, I'll do them
Myers-
plugs, but yeah, we had 2
No.
shows that DropTent was running. So
Yeah.
this past Friday. But for your thing, I really wanted to be there. But yeah,
I know. We wanted you there, but we're all producers here, except for
Yeah.
You don't produce the show, do you?
I did. I
did at
produced
one
the Rank
point.
Bank, yeah, and
Oh,
that's
no, but like a.
Oh,
Oh, the
Like,
rank bag. Remember that
I thought
sorry
you
ass
meant
podcast
podcast.
Dave
I
had?
like
Oh
the
my
rank bag.
God.
you were on a fun one.
Yeah, of course you had me on there. You needed people to tune into that
Stop sucking up,
terrible
Craig.
idea of a podcast.
Hey,
You had me and Eric Terrell. Was probably
it
the
was a
best
nice
decision
little-
you made to put
it
both
was
of
a
us
nice
on there.
little COVID podcast, and then we realized once it was over that Zoom podcasts are dead.
Yeah.
It was
And-
like Dave's like, hey Mark, do you want to go here and rank emojis? I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
We
Oh,
ranked.
damn.
You ranked the 7 words you can't say on TV.
Oh, that's a
that
good
was
one.
a fun episode.
That's a good one.
Oh,
I
then he
had
was
ranked,
getting into things like
zombie
ranking.
movies.
He was like ranking things that were like 100. The list was like let's rank the 7 dwarfs or some bullshit like that. It
Oh,
was-
that
First
would've
of
been-
all, now
that
they're
would've been a good
Now
one.
they're the 7 multiracial normal-sized people, but the one.
Yeah, but Dave, who is the best one in the
The-
multiracial
oh,
coalition
of
of,
the,
normal-sized people and Snow White?
No, I'm gonna get in trouble.
yeah, come on, go ahead.
They actually do.
Tell us who your
I'm gonna
favorite
rank
one is.
the actual dwarf as the number 1 because
Why not? He's the.
But did you
OG.
see like
Yeah.
actual small people are getting upset about like Wee Man?
yeah.
Wee Man went on a whole rant about it, and
Yeah.
and Hugh,
and
was Hugh Grant
forget
got
who the other
cast
one
as the
was, like a wrestler or something like that was going
They
nuts.
should be. That fucking what? It's 7. It's Snow White and the 7 magical people now.
Yeah, is that really what they're calling
Yeah.
it?
Well, it's like
And only
it's
one
fucked
of
up
them is a
because
dwarf.
Is there really a dwarf in it?
Yeah,
though?
there's-
One real
there's
dwarf?
one.
There's men and
they're
women.
height washing.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
Height
They're
washing.
That's
That
hilarious.
might be
Height
our title
washing.
name.
Yeah,
it's
All
fucked
right.
up
Good.
because Peter Dinklage is like the biggest
Whoa.
dwarf in the
Hey, Mark,
history
watch
of the
out! Watch out with the jokes, okay?
but he like threw it out. It was his fault, but he was like not considering all the other smaller people that don't have his kind of career. He was being a
Yeah.
dick about it.
They went Peter Dinklage, then they went like the guy that plays Willow, and then they were just like, we're out of ideas. Get you Grant.
Yeah.
Well, there's
Is Emmanuel
I don't know,
Lewis
yeah.
still available?
There's Mickey from Seinfeld and the black guy from Bad Santa.
Yeah, right.
It's a shame Peter Dinklage went over everyone else's head.
No.
Sorry, everybody. Listen, guys. I know we're kind of at the news right now, right?
We are?
We-
Okay.
and I don't know
Not
how
that
many
fast.
jokes you got. I realize that
We got
we might be
15 like
6
we
minutes
always do.
over.
Oh,
All right,
that's
well,
okay.
well, yeah.
We're-
Let's.
Do you want to do 50 though? Let's
I
rock it out, hey?
Let's
that
just
all
wrap
right?
it up. We'll come to a nice conclusion
all
here, and then we'll do it. Mark, you've been a fantastic guest. I did not expect you to be. I'm going to be honest. So I'm very pleased. This hour flew by.
I'm glad.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm
so
more
much.
than just eye candy, DePriel. So I'm glad you had me on here.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I just wanted to very briefly explore. I remember one time we were at a show,
Yeah.
we had a few drinks, and you had said something to the degree of you see a lot of comics come out of like rural areas. You work with Shane Gillis, and you said there was one comic that had that kind of energy. What was that comic's name? It was some guy that you were drinking with after a show. It was maybe he was on a podcast that you're.
I love that
recently
you guys were
currently
talking
doing.
about me.
No, I but sincerely, you book some fantastic fucking shows.
Thank
If
you.
comics
Yeah.
that are watching, definitely DM him and ask him for a spot.
They are fun.
Please
All you
don't do
gotta
that. No. No, thank you. Please don't.
because-
You gotta jump on a Mario Kart track to get to some of these places, but they are very
Oh my
fun
gosh.
shows.
I love his Rainbow Road show. That's my favorite one.
John
I
DeCall
hope
had
you-
the best one. He's like, to do a Mark show, you need a compass and a canteen. You'll be fine.
Well, I'm gonna plug. I will plug the shows if I can remember where they are and what dates they're happening that we're gonna do. But we're doing a little mini tour, me and Mark. Right? Are you doing that still with me?
I'm doing half the tour. I couldn't do the entire tour.
Well, okay. You're doing some of the tour, and that'll
I'm
be
doing
fun.
some. I'm going out to Metropolis, Altoona, the Garveys.
Yeah, we're going down Tuna together. We'll call it a tour.
Oh, we'll fit right in, Dan. Don't worry.
Oh, they already are. They're hanging out the overalls for us right now. But this has been a pleasure. Do you want to hang out?
Yeah.
We don't always have our Skype guests hang out because usually they got somewhere to be.
I
But
can
we're
hang
gonna
out.
Do the news if you
I
want.
can hang out. You want me to go on mute or something?
no,
No.
yeah, you
Feel free to riff. I'll
Oh.
explain everything to our audience and you
Cool.
once we do this fun little sound bite that Neil's going to play.
Yeah, let's do it now.
All right.
We're talking news. We're talking news. news. Talking news. We're here to shoot the shit and talk the news.
I never thought such a throwaway little line I would hear myself say so much in my own ears, but there we are. We're shooting the shit. We're talking the news. For our viewers at home, if you haven't seen an episode of the Weekday Comics before, welcome. We do the news at the end of the episode, which means Dave and I are writing 15 jokes each about the news that happened this week. We do not know what each other has written. I've never heard his bullshit before. He hasn't heard mine. If we cover the same news story, we will have what we call a joke off. I don't think I can do that.
I like that.
Thank you. It's a patois, not a accent.
One of the dwarves can.
And if we have a joke off, Mark, you will be our celebrity guest judge. You will pick your favorite one. And the winner will have bragging rights. I think you're one up on me right now. So the winner will have bragging rights. So here we go. Dave, would you like to start?
Certainly. Biden's dog, Commander, has bitten people several times, emails show. The dog accepted his punishment of a newspaper across the nose, but then pointed at the president and said, "But I'm not taking the fall for any poopies he made on the carpet."
Yeah. Okay. Good. I like that one. I didn't see that news story at all. That one just escaped me, but that's a good one.
Any chance to say poopies on the air?
Yeah. All right. Whistleblower tells Congress the U.S. is concealing multi-decade program that captures UFOs. And the USA is capturing them the only way they know how, in an inescapable cycle of credit card debt.
Fantastic.
Give those aliens American Express.
Actor Kevin Spacey cleared of all charges of sexual assault. Although how silly is the interrogator going to feel once he realizes he's been drinking from a mug from the "No, I didn't rape anyone" porcelain company?
Well, fire up that air horn. Brah, brah, bwah, 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 bwah.
God, that punchline was
you know.
3 minutes long.
You piece of shit. You sitting in your fucking judgment, your ivory tower.
It was good, though. I liked it.
Kevin Spacey found not guilty of sexual offenses against 4 men, clearing his name, though it is unclear what penalties his false accusers will have to repay the entire nation for giving us the final season of House of Cards. Yeah.
All right, Mark, pick a winner.
Yeah, Dave.
Yeah,
Boom.
that's okay. He deserved it. Sometimes you tuck a joke way deep into the thing because you think you're going to hide it, and then you got to pull it out for a joke off, and you just know it's going to win. I don't think either of those deserve to be voted for, but fine. One had to win. So.
Dave.
There's the bitterness. Now that you're down 2, you're
That's
starting
right.
to sweat a little bit.
I am. You're
Before you're like
right.
friendly competition,
Not anymore.
but now, yeah.
Not so much anymore. We've
Yeah,
both
now that
been
Dave
down-
lost the Iron Comic, he has nothing but this now, Dan. You got to give this to him just so he doesn't.
We've endeavored to
just-
talk about that so many times. We talked about it a little bit.
He goes home to
true.
his roommate Broomhilda and cries himself to sleep.
I just wanted that lightsaber. I don't care about I can fucking still write whatever I want. Hulk Hogan is engaged to yoga instructor Sky Daly. It was love at first sight. He saw her in those tight pants and thought, "Wow, what a great way to double my wardrobe." Cute. Yeah. Okay.
Ooh, you have brought such a chaotic and negative vibe to this podcast, Mark, and I love it. Yale professor says President Biden's economy most successful since FDR's New Deal, which means the key to a thriving nation may be an old sick man who can't really walk.
That's good.
Thank you.
No joke off. Here's one you probably wrote a story for, I'm guessing.
Let's see.
Yeah, this will probably... I'm assuming this will be a joke off. Mitch McConnell freezes up, stares blankly for nearly a minute at press conference. It's suspected that he suffered a stroke because he likes his body like he likes his government, with only one side having full control.
That's great. I actually
Oh.
bashed my head against that story for so long and couldn't. I think I was just too pleased with the actual situation.
That's a great joke. That's
Thank
a great
you.
joke.
That was a really good joke. As somebody who couldn't figure
I
one
can't
out.
wait to be called a soy boy for that one.
No, I'm not happy with my entire production this week.
Your
but that's
lexicon?
okay. Yeah, I think so. We would call it that.
Why not?
This manifesto I scribbled, I'm just not happy with any of it. Donald Trump accused of asking staffer to delete camera footage in Florida classified documents case, which seems suspicious as it would mark the first time Trump wanted a camera involving him turned off.
Black fraternity moves Florida convention because of Ron DeSantis. Their absence will be felt on Greek Row, as many frat guys have come out and said, holy shit, does that mean we actually get to use the word this weekend?
Pretty good.
Thank you.
Paul Rubens, actor best known as Pee Wee Herman, dies at 70. He will be remembered as an actor who created countless wonderful moments in the theater. And I think he also starred in a few movies.
Nice. And guess what?
This is joke off.
Joke off number 2.
I knew that. Yeah, we tipped this one.
That was a good one. I don't
Yeah.
know if this will... Let's see. Paul Rubens, known for Pee Wee Herman character, dead at 70. His funeral is expected to be closed casket. That is, unless the talking coffin wants to deliver a eulogy too.
I like that one. This is a good joke off.
I'll give that one to DePrio.
Yeah, I'm coming
That
back.
was- that was the
baby.
pity vote.
Yeah, I'll take it. I'll take it. I will take a Biden vote. I don't care why you're voting for me. Just vote for me. Katie Ledecky breaks Michael Phelps' record for most individual world titles. And I got to say, this Barbie movie advertising blitz is getting to be a little much, Dave. You know? Jesus.
All right. Where we go. Court rules first responders who wrongfully declared Michigan woman dead cannot be sued. Or as the judge put it, you live in Michigan. Give it a week.
Ice Cube claims in interview with Tucker Carlson he's lost $9 million after he refused to get the COVID vaccine. Mr. Cube ended the interview with a rendition of his brand new song, Befriend the Police, by his new group, Shareholders with Attitude.
That's good.
Thank you.
That was good.
North Carolina tourist town weighing options to crack down on growing panhandling as tourism dips. Although North Carolinians have no one to blame but themselves, seeing as they're the ones who ran out all that... Fuck! They're the ones that ran out that group of people notoriously stingy with their change. Yep.
Your pride. You couldn't do
Yeah.
it. You couldn't do it. Texas worker accused of being on drugs was actually dying of heat stroke. So come to Texas, the only state where you can get baked and then get baked.
Nice. Punnage.
Thank you. A man died, but let's, have some wordplay with it.
I mean, lots of people died this week. We didn't even mention Sinead O'Connor.
That's true.
Afterward. Texas Christian school teachers were fired after going to a Houston drag show. In their defense, they only realized they were in the wrong place when the man in the dress didn't start leading them in prayer.
Pooping only every 3 or more days linked with cognitive decline, study says. And if intelligence is linked to frequency of poop, great news, I am the smartest man alive. Irritable brain syndrome is the name of that story.
And he ruined it. Go ahead, Dave.
No, that's a good title. That's a good...
See, if we were doing like
Yeah.
a legit thing where I had like a little cry on, which Neil says he can do, and we're just too lazy to send him the shit.
Irritable brain syndrome isn't a bad title,
It's a good
potentially.
title. Yeah.
I still like height washing a little better.
I
but
like height washing more, but that is a good one. Thank you.
CDC warns about red meat allergy caused by some tick bites. And based on who this is expected to upset the most, the newest approved method of getting rid of ticks is with assault rifles.
Well, we got it again. This is 3.
Oh,
This is a
no,
good thing.
This is my worst
Honestly,
joke.
I wrote this one and thought this was my worst joke, and I was going to push it off to a later. I was like, this could be a next week thing, but I'll read it because it is a joke off. A meat allergy caused by tick spit is getting more common, CDC says. And though the condition makes it impossible to eat red meat without a painful reaction, experts say it's still preferable to being told in a conversation why you shouldn't eat meat with a vegan. Yeah,
Tough.
You're right. You're absolutely right. This was
I'm
my
kind of
16th
leaning towards DePrio on this one, actually. No, he talked up the
Come on, you'll tie up the score, and for nothing else, as an agent of chaos,
I'll give it the
I'm
Priel.
going to pitch, yes, we're tied,
Okay.
baby. And it wasn't because of the joke, because, again, I admitted that was not, shouldn't have been read on air.
This is why you went to him to get on the show. All right. Biden finally speaks out on granddaughter he refused to acknowledge for years. He plans to make it up to her by giving her years' worth of birthday cards with a $5 bill in it, although that may make the mother jealous since she only gets paid in ones.
Texas man allegedly kidnaps teen, drives to California. But, you know, back in my day, they used to just call that starting a band, you know?
All right. USPS mail carrier saves life of elderly woman after noticing mail piling up. And thus the long-standing rivalry continues on strong as her pet dog was this close to being able to eat her.
Not a joke off, but a dog joke of my own. Ohio canine officer fired after his police dog attacked surrendering suspect. The dog was able to stay on the force, but only because he rolled over and begged the captain for a job. You know?
All right. All right, I just said all right. Come
I
on.
just like the tone of the which you said it. It was
Settle
like,
yourself.
enough silliness. We're
Yeah.
done with the silliness.
Yeah, this is a serious joke. Cardi B throws microphone at concert goer who hit her with a drink on stage. The ensuing thunk was considered by many the most pleasant sound to ever come out of a microphone at a Cardi B concert.
I like that one. That's a real. We'll get some.
Oh yeah,
hate.
there's
We'll get
some hate mail in
responses.
that one. Oh yeah.
We'll get some hate responses. 6 injured after man drives vehicle into migrant workers in North Carolina. And let's give it up for the hardworking immigrants who are being victims of all the unglamorous mass violence that white people don't want to be victims of.
Protest brings over 100 trans men into Miss Italy pageant after trans woman ban. Although the plan may not have its desired effect, as most Italians will never complain about someone who knows how to add in a little sausage.
That's good.
Yeah, that's a good one. Family sues. Oh, what are we on? Because I now that I threw in an extra
I only have
I'm
one
all
more
off.
because we already did our Pee-wees.
Okay, cool. That makes sense with me then. Because I thought I dropped one.
We
but I
already
wasn't sure.
compared Pee-wees.
This many fucking joke-offs is throwing me off here, but I like it. All right. Family sues Delta after drunken passenger groped mom and her teen daughter on flight, which is shocking because this is an add-on usually only offered on Southwest.
All right, last one. X removed after being installed atop company headquarters following Twitter's rebrand. It was said to have violated the rules that you're supposed to find treasure under a giant X, not a sounding board for some of the dumbest fucking people on the planet.
That's funny. That was really
Yeah.
good. I like that. I didn't. That thought didn't even occur to me when I looked at that story. But it was very, very, very good writing there, young man.
What can I say?
Yeah. Japan's population drops by nearly 800,000 with falls in every part of the country. Experts say the declining birth rate may be disastrous if the upper hand is finally gained by Japan's population of sexually aggressive tentacles.
There you go. I was expecting a semi-racist Godzilla, but
no.
thank God we did not
No,
say
I already
that
brought
on
up
the
Gillis.
pod.
Yeah, I already brought up Gillis. I ain't going out like that, okay? I ain't going out like that. I'm going to be your most successful comedian that you booked, Marc Staudenmaier. Maybe.
I'll never let that happen. All right, Mark, what do you got coming up? Plug some shit.
I got PJ Ryan's Thursday and in Phoenixville, and
That's a regular show. What is it's the same day every month, right?
Correct, first Thursday of every month, and I got the Vineyard Hershey on the last Saturday of August, whatever that happens to be. But Wisecrackers the second weekend of August.
Oh,
and
you got you hosting with Nick Bruce. Shout out to Nick Bruce. Cool.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. But it was a pleasure being here with you guys. Make sure you subscribe to my Get to the Joke channel and check out the special.
Wow, look
Yes.
at you putting on some cold syrup on that self-plug there. It was nice being here with us. It was. I thought it was nice for you to be here. Dave, what do you have?
Check my socials. I got a jumble of shit that I haven't organized yet.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's some stuff coming up.
I don't know what I have.
Follow
I'm going
me.
to look at my...
Dave from comedy. Yeah, see, I don't want this dead air of reading a calendar.
There's
feel
no
like-
dead air reading a calendar. I'm doing this smooth.
Neil, what do you got?
I feel like the most important thing is that Neil and Dave work on their cues. I mean, you guys have done 30 episodes of this. Dave still can't read Neil's cues.
He switches them up every episode.
He does not switch them up. I've been there once. I know exactly what he's up to.
I didn't know I had to take weekly ESL classes to keep up. Wait, that's not the right ASL.
ASL, yeah. ESL.
English as a second language.
No bueno.
Yeah, go ahead, Dave.
I'll be quick. You probably have a lot more than me this weekend. My mom is going to Gettysburg to visit the battlefield, so I'll be watching Three Cats all weekend.
Party
What's
at
up?
their-
Love
party
you,
at her
Mom.
house.
Come out to my house. We'll be partying. I believe Fenris is. Oh, maybe I shouldn't say that. I'm going to a barbecue. No, I'll say it. I'll tell the world. Sorry, Matt Morgan. Fenris is having a barbecue, and I think I'm going to that.
Uh-oh.
So,
I
come
was
on out.
invited to
Come
the
out
last
with me.
one, but not this one.
Maybe because you didn't see him. I just happened to see him at a show. I did a show with him a couple weeks ago. Come on out, Neil. Everybody, let's come out. You'll be my guests.
definitely.
It'll be fun. That's all I'm doing.
Cool, love it. I'll be quick since I'm off mic. DropTent.com/events for all our dates and details for everything that Biggest Little Comedy does underneath the Drop Tent name. You can check me out at IamNeilWood.com for all my dates and details. And other than that, or James Wood Art as well. So if you want to check out some designs and everything else I do, go to those two places. Thank you so much.
Cool. Thanks
you.
again, Staudenmaier.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you.
Well, there we go. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Oh, man, that was we fucking landed that like Kerry Strug should have.
How you doing? This is Neil Wood from the Cult of Us podcast, speaking on behalf of DropTent Media Network, the network you're currently listening to. Make sure to check out all the other podcasts on the network. You can go to DropTent.com to check them all out. Make sure to like, subscribe on everything that you see DropTent on. We appreciate it. Go to DropTent.com now.
This has been a DropTent Media production.